Hi everyone, Yanshil here from Offline. Have you ever dreamed about living and working in many different countries? Or have you ever wondered how to become digital nomad working in Thailand, France, or any country you want? If so, this episode is for you. Arianna started her career as an online community manager but decided to quit her job and start her own digital marketing agency, which serves various clients all over the world now. On top of this marketing agency, she started another business selling cute little items such as mugs, t-shirts, and yoga mats on Etsy, which generated $30,000 of side income in 2 years. Her next goal is to move to South Korea to learn about the language and culture, running 2 businesses remotely. Isn't she amazing? Let's figure out how she started this journey and develop along the way. Thank you so much, Arianna, for joining us today. I think it's really crazy to run 2 businesses at the same time. So we have a lot to cover today. First of all, you started your career as a community manager at the marketing agency. What makes you go for your own business when you can just pursue your marketing career in big corporations?
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of good opportunities at marketing companies over the years. I've been able to work at agencies, brand side of things. But I think at the end of the day, what I really like about having my own business is if I have an idea, I can do it. A lot of times when you're in a company, you might have a creative idea. That idea, you have to go to the meeting, then your boss has to approve, then his boss has to approve, and then her boss has to approve. So I just really like being able to be the ultimate decision maker and kind of execute on the ideas that I have. So I think that's one thing that's always drawn me to entrepreneurship, that you can take your ideas and make them reality.
Many people are actually afraid of not having a proper safety nets. Could you tell us if you had those kind of fear when you started, and did you prepare some other stuff financially?
Yeah, so I didn't do this the right way. I quit my job without having much savings. I think I had under $1,000.
What?
That's a lot of student loans. But one day I knew I just didn't want to. I remember sitting on the subway and just thinking I saw somebody smile, and my thought was why are you smiling? What's wrong with you? That's how unhappy I was in New York at the time. So I kind of just on a whim quit my job unexpectedly, called my mom from the parking lot, what am I going to do? And then went home, took a look at my bank. That was kind of sad. And then I realized if I moved somewhere else, I could live in Spain for at least 2 months while I figured out my business. So I rented my apartment in New York, moved to Spain, and then slowly started building my own financial safety net because I really didn't have one. But I think that was good because if you don't have a financial safety net or any kind of safety net, you kind of have to make your business work.
Right. What did you do in Spain then?
So when I got to Spain, I just decided that I was going to take my skills that I used with companies and start a marketing agency. So provide those services to different companies. So I got to Spain, made a website, made business cards, and then just told everyone I started a marketing agency.
Oh, wow.
That led to getting some clients, actually.
It's crazy because you were new in Spain, right? Did you speak the local language?
Yeah, so I studied abroad in Spain, and I actually lived there on and off. So I didn't actually do any business in Spain necessarily, but my apartment over there, I think, cost something it was crazy. It was maybe $300. So I just bought myself some time while I got things going online and hustled up some clients.
Wow, that's amazing. So actually, my next question was actually about the money as well. So many people think that to start their own business, they have to be born with a silver spoon because they think that it takes a lot of money. Can I ask, how much was your initial investment to start your own business?
Yeah, so it wasn't that much because at the time I think I just had under $1,000 for rent and everything. So I put a little bit on a credit card, but I think you can just make a website. start that honestly under $200 if you use
exactly
out of the box platforms. And then as you go, just use the money you get to make the foundation better. But you can start it with anything, like anyone could start today.
So you're currently working with a lot of international clients, right? All over the world. How did you find all these clients?
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm kind of a terrible salesperson, but over the years, I've built up a network, just going to different marketing events, entrepreneurship events. Ever since I was in college, I used to just go to events and I wouldn't sell anybody anything. I'm just there to learn, talk to people, see what's up. And then, once people saw that I started my own thing, they would approach me. I started doing more writing for a few publications to get my voice out there. People would read the articles and say, hey, cool, can you help us too? So I would just say just network a lot, talk to people.
But I mean, it's not easy, right, to convince someone to, use your own service. Of course, like you mentioned that you were a terrible salesperson, but, there must be some point that I'm like, okay, now I'm more comfortable. I can do better. So what was the experience, or what's your learning?
I think for me, I just like helping people naturally. So sometimes I'll give people ideas for free, or I say, oh, if you did PR, like you could get all this attention, or if you changed your design, look what you could do. And then people naturally get excited. So I think maybe that is my sales tactic without even trying to sell. It's just, I see opportunity and I tell other people that maybe this is something that I could help you with. It's not so forceful. I don't like the sales tactic where you go to a networking event, you're like, here's my card, and like follow up 10 times. For me, I just want to work on interesting projects with interesting people. And sometimes it just kind of comes about naturally, talking about what you're passionate about.
But I think that although you mentioned it really lightly, but I feel like that's one of the best sales tactic to convince people, because like it's a lot easier to build the trust, right? Because like if you are genuinely like to help them, like people kind of like feel like more comfortable talking to you. So I think that although you don't agree, I think that you're a pretty good salesperson.
Thank you.
I heard that you lived in Korea before and then you plan to go back to Korea to live. Could you tell us like what you did in Korea previously and what you want to do next time?
Yeah, so I originally went to Korea because one of my really close friends is Korean American, and she was over there for the holidays. So she said, come check out Korea. And I thought, yeah, sure, it sounds cool. I'd never really given much thought to Korea, honestly. But I got over there and I was like, Christina, Korea's the best place ever. Like, like I love it here. You could go back to San Francisco after the holidays, but I think I'm going to stay here. I just had such a good time. I like the culture, the food, the soju. Yeah,
there's a lot of soju, right?
Maybe a little too much.
So like in terms of business, what's your plan? Like, do you want to keep your marketing agency while you're living in Korea as well?
Plan right now is work with our existing clients, and then hopefully next year be learning Korean and when I have free time, and then go back over there next year and try and live there long term would be really fun.
So like basically, it doesn't matter whether you're going to be in Korea or US, like you can actually run your business anywhere, right?
Yeah, so that's what's been cool is I've been able to travel a lot the past couple of years. But then I do, whichever clients we have on board, I really want to make sure that I'm on their time zone. So sometimes that means getting up really early or staying up really late. Actually, when I lived in Korea, I went to bed 4:30, 5 a.m. So I was on US time zone, which I'm a night owl, so that was perfect. But it's definitely doable to run the business remotely, which has been great. Our team's all over, everywhere from Lebanon to Mexico. So things like Skype and technology are really awesome to be able to run a business.
There must be some moment that, this is so hard. Like, I want to just go back to corporate world. I just want to get some, monthly check so that I don't need to like think too much. Have you ever thought that way?
Yeah, I think a lot of the entrepreneurship stories online are like, this person made millions of dollars, or this person's so happy living their dream. But a lot of times entrepreneurship is like crying in your bedroom being like, what am I going to do? Or like not sleeping because you're like, how am I going to pay everybody? Because like 3 clients were late to pay or something happened. But I think I was talking to a friend recently and we were talking about just the stress of running a business. And we were talking like, it's really hard to deal with all this stress, but once you're at the bottom, it's easy to come back there because you've been there before and you know that you can get back up. So I would say like the first couple crises, you're like, what's going to happen? I don't know. And it's really stressful. And then when you're at the bottom again, you're like, oh, well, I'll figure it out because I did it last time.
I just want to talk about your side business now. So you mentioned about the idea by Arianna. You're selling cute little stuff internationally as well. Like, how did you come up with the idea and then why you wanted to have another business on top of your existing one?
Yeah, so this one was interesting because I was actually just drinking with a friend and after a couple of drinks, I was like, Chelsea, like write down these ideas. These are so good. And then they weren't very good, but the next day I decided just to make them. So I put them on some mocks. I made an Etsy store and then I posted it to my Facebook. And it was interesting because one person bought the mug and I thought, wow, my ideas are so good.
Yeah, well, you know, people are going to buy it.
People are going to buy this. Like I already sold one, like this is just a start. And then the couple weeks after that, like nobody bought anything, but I just really liked making something and being able to take an idea from my head to actually like holding it. So I started making everything from like yoga mats to like little stickers and putting them on different types of products.
Did you make by yourself or do you have any designer?
Oh, so I actually work with a team of really talented designers, and I couldn't do it without them because I can have an idea and tell them the colors or what I'm thinking, and then they can actually make something much better than I could.
Cool. So what's your plan like from now on? Do you want to just like keep these 2 business or, you know, what's your mid long-term plan?
I would say I love running the marketing agency and helping clients with their marketing and PR. So I'm going to continue to run that. The store has been kind of a side hobby and I'm actually surprised that it's been generating enough income. And I think that actually maybe in the long term, I could put more focus on that. But I really love making products. I think in my ideal world, if I didn't have to work or do anything, I would just sit in a room and just make things all day.
Oh, maybe it's your passion then.
Yeah, so I definitely want to continue to grow that.
One of the reasons that I wanted to introduce you to my audience is because a lot of young Korean professionals thought about doing their own business or a side project, but it's a lot harder for them to just push because entrepreneurship has been kind of like, you know, discounted in Korean society because the failure was conceived as the kind of like end result rather than, process. So people are so afraid of like fail in something. So if you can give an advice, those people who dreamed about like having side hustle or, you know, starting their own business, but just can't start because of the fear.
I would say my advice is just to know that you are going to fail. I failed a lot of times and made a lot of bad products or bad decisions. But then I think the more failure you have, the more comfortable you are with it. So maybe like my first failure, I'd be sad for a couple of days or a week or something. And now I fail. And then an hour later, I'm like, oh, okay, well, just, I just got to,
okay, what's going to be next? Right?
Yeah, I don't have time to like be sad in the failure right now. So I think just keep thinking about what's next. And as you mentioned too, like a side hustle is a really great way to still keep your day job and then just start working on your business really small. So if you do happen to fail or you want to quit, you can still have your job.
Okay, thank you so much, Arianna. I really hope that your plan to, you know, live in Korea would happen really soon as well. I really hope to see you in Korea one day. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your experience and learning.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great chatting today.
Yeah, bye.
업플라이 TV의 각 에피소드는 저의 인사이트와 함께 업플라이 웹사이트의 무료 자료 섹션에서 찾아보실 수 있어요. 에피소드에 대한 질문이나 업플라이 멤버분들과 공유하고 싶은 것이 있다면 댓글을 통해 남겨주시기 바랄게요. 업플라이의 다양한 무료 자료와 멤버분들께만 공유하는 정보를 받아보시려면 뉴스레터 구독란을 통해 이메일 주소를 남겨주세요. 웹사이트와 유튜브에서는 공개하지 않을 해외 취업 전략 이메일 시리즈를 보내드리도록 하겠습니다.